Good day po to everyone, to EE3103 and to Sir Dean and sa lahat po ng makakarinig ng recording na to. So, we are Group 5 from EE3103 and we are tasked to discuss fuses and power relays. This is a requirement for EE405 Electrical Apparatus and Devices, a course under the program of BS Electrical Engineering. So, to start off, let me introduce myself. I am Angela Emil A. Santos.
I am Denzel Josh G. Algaide.
I am Michael Hernandez.
I'm Arabella J. Magadja.
I am Janelle Kayla May Amparas.
And we will start our discussion. First is the fuses or introduction to fuses, which will be discussed by Ms. Paras.
Now, we're going to discuss fuses. A fuse is a safety device that melts and offends the circuit when too much current flows, protecting electrical components from damage. It is always connected in series, and if used in a parallel circuit, only the affected branch will stop working when the fuse blows. Fuses are enclosed in a protective sheet to prevent hazards, and automotive fuses often have transparent covers for easy inspection. They are designed to fail open when the current exceeds the limit, and they're easy to replace since they are placed in fuse holders. Common types include cartridge type fuses used in industrial or automotive applications, and screw-in glass fuses found in older homes. In short, fuses are small but very important devices that prevent overcurrent and protect electrical systems. Next slide po. Next is fuse holders. A fuse holders is a device that uses spring metal clips to secure fuses and ensure a firm electrical connection. The clips are permanently connected to the circuit conductors, while the base material of the fuse holder or fuse block is made of good insulating material to prevent electric shock or short circuit. Another type of fuse holder for cartridge fuses is commonly used in control panels and is designed to enclose and protect all the parts. This enclosed design prevents human contact with electrical components, ensuring safety. Unlike open fuse blocks, this type completely covers the fuse inside an insulating housing. In modern electrical systems, the most common overcurrent protection device used in high current circuit is the circuit breaker. Next slide po. Next is circuit breaker. A circuit breaker is a switch that automatically opens when overcurrent occurs, stopping the flow of electricity to protect the circuit. Small breakers, which are commonly used in residential, commercial, and light industrial systems, are thermally operated using a bimetallic strip that bends when heated. Triggering the trip mechanism, large breakers, on the other hand, are magnetically operated or controlled by protective relays that sense the overcurrent strength. Unlike fuses that must be replaced after blowing, circuit breakers can be reset, making them more permanent and convenient protection devices. Externally, a circuit breaker may look like a simple switch, but its main purpose is automatic overcurrent protection. Automobiles sometimes use fusible links for battery protection due to lower costs, but these offer limited safety. Circuit breakers are preferred in industrial and residential systems because they provide reliable protection against high voltage and current risks. Next slide po. Next is fuse ratings. Fuse ratings are measured in amperes, which indicate the maximum current a fuse can safely carry before it blows. The operation of a fuse depends on the heat generated by the current flow, but it is designed to add very little resistance to the circuit to maintain efficiency. This is achieved by making the fuse wire as short as possible to minimize resistance. The current rating of a fuse is determined by the wire's materials and not its length. For example, a 10 copper wire can handle 4 ampere regardless of how long it is. A shorter fuse wire has lower resistance and provides more efficient protection. However, when a fuse blows, the melted wire ends may leave an air gap with full voltage between them. If the fuse is too short, especially in high voltage circuits, a spark or arc may jump across the gap, causing the current to flow again unintentionally. Therefore, careful design and proper fuse rating selection are essential to ensure safety and reliable circuit protection. Next slide po. Fuse ratings are determined by both their voltage capacity and the current level at which they blow or open. Large industrial fuses often use replaceable wire elements to reduce costs. Reusable cartridge bodies protect the fuse while shielding nearby objects from heat or sparks. A fuse's current rating also depends on how quickly it responds to overcurrent. Fast blow fuses react immediately to protect against sudden surges, while slow blow fuses have delayed action, allowing brief current spikes, ideal for devices like electric motors that draw high startup current. Slow blow fuses contain more mass, causing them to heat up slower but still blow at the same current limit. Meanwhile, semiconductor fuses are ultra-fast acting and are used to protect sensitive components such as transistors from damage. Next slide po. So, here we have fuses ratings. We must always put the fuse on the hot side of the circuit. This is important because when the fuse opens, the whole load becomes de-energized, making it safer and avoiding electric shock. If the fuse is placed on a neutral side, the current may stop, but there is still dangerous voltage present. So it is still risky. That is why we place the fuse on the hot side for proper isolation. Circuit breaker also protect the circuit from overcurrent. But the advantage is they can be reset after tripping while fuses are destroyed. Next slide po. So fuse ratings, overcurrent protection device, fuses, and circuit breakers do not protect against electric shock. So mainly, our fuses ratings uh, will depend on how our circuit breaker connected to that function. Next slide po. So for our review, a fuse is a small thin conductor that melts and separates to break a circuit during excessive current. Next, a circuit breaker is a switch that automatically opens under overcurrent, stripped thermally, magnetically, or by protective relays depending on design. Fuses are rated mainly by maximum current but also by the voltage they can safely withstand after opening. Fuses can be fast blow, slow blow, or intermediate, even at the same current rating depending on application. The safest installation for a fuse in a ground system is on the underground or hot conductor, leaving the grounded conductor connected after fuse blows for safety. Next slide.
Before we proceed sa types of fuses, which we created a map para mas madaling sundan, let's first discuss kung bakit ba natin kailangan ng fuse and kung paano ba siya nagwo-work. In simple words, ang fuse ay isang small device na ginagamit in both electronic and electrical circuit, and ang trabaho nito is to protect the circuit from too much current or overcurrent. Mayroon itong strip or metal na nadidissolve or nagme-melt when there is too much current flowing in the circuit. And this process is called opening the circuit. And kapag nakapag-blow na ang fuse or na-dissolve na yung metal or wire sa loob nito, it must be rewired or changed depende sa type ng fuse. A fuse is also an ADS or an automatic disconnection of supply, meaning na kapag may something wrong na nadedetect dun sa circuit, kagaya nga ng too much current na nagfo-flow sa circuit ay automatically na nagdi-disconnect ang supply to prevent damage. If i-compare natin, similar lang siya sa circuit breaker, pero na nagpo-protect sa circuit but nagdi-differ sila kung paano nila pinoprotect yung circuit. Why do we require a fuse? Or why do we need a fuse? It is simple. It is used to protect our homes, appliances from high current and accidental damage. Kapag may fault wiring, maaaring magkaroon ng imbalance sa current flow, which can eventually result to life-threatening risks. So, if present ang fuse sa mga residential properties and appliances, maaari niyang mapigilan ito to prevent danger from happening din. Next ay ang working principle of a fuse. Kagaya nga ng nasabi ko kanina, may strip or metal sa loob nito and ito ay natutunaw due to the heat caused by overcurrent sa circuit. Moving forward, nasabi ko rin kanina na kapag nagmelt na yung metal or wire doon sa loob ng fuse ay kailangan itong i-rewire or palitan. Take note na ang ipapalit dapat dito ay appropriate sa rating na kailangan. The formula na, ito pala, next slide. Ang formula na nakikita nyo is kung paano ba mag-compute ng fuse rating. And always remember na ang unit nito ay in amperes. So, for example, may 500 watts ka na electric kettle and connected siya sa 50 volts outlet. Divide lang natin yung 500 watts sa 50 volts, then multiply natin sa safety factor na 1.25. Then, yon ang fuse rating na gagamitin. Also, take note na maximum fuse rating dapat ang gagamitin after makompute ito. For example, ang lumabas na value ng fuse ay 7.4, 7.5, or 7.6. Ang gagamitin dapat nating fuse ay 8 ampere. So, let's proceed na sa types of fuse na kagaya na sinabi ko kanina is nag-create kami ng map para mas madaling maintindihan. So, ito yung different types of fuses. So, below the general term ng fuses, meron tayong AC fuses and DC fuses. And kita naman natin na mas maraming components under ng AC fuses, which is low voltage and high voltage. Then, para sa low voltage, under nito is ang cartridge, rewirable, striker, switch, and dropout. For high voltage, meron namang cartridge HRC, liquid HRC, or expulsion HRC. Then, under the low voltage, under ng cartridge, meron tayong D-type and link type. And under ng link type, meron tayong blade and bolted. So, let's proceed with the AC fuses. First is AC fuses. AC, which we all know as alternating current, is what's been usually used para sa mga residential house since ito nga ay nag-change ng flow of current. Kagaya ng ibang fuses, may metal or strip din sa loob nito na natutunaw when the current flow is too high. In AC current, the direction of current changes many times per second or 50 or 60 times per second. As a result, there is no scope for arc generation between the dissolved wires. It means na for AC fuses, kapag natunaw na ang wire sa loob ng fuse, the current is constantly reversing and passes through zero. Therefore, no arc or spark was generated. Then, kagaya na nabanggit ko kanina is mayroon tong two categories which is the low voltage and high voltage. First is, mag-proceed tayo sa low voltage. LV fuses or low voltage fuses, ito ay type ng AC fuse and applicable ito sa systems na nagfa-function typically below 100 volts AC. It has several categories din kagaya ng nakita sa map kanina. First ay rewirable fuses. From the word itself, ito ay pwedeng i-rewire. Recall na ang working principle ng fuses ay may nagme-melt na strip or metal to stop the overcurrent. In rewirable fuses, after mag-melt nito, yung metal sa loob ng fuse ay pwedeng palitan ng metal or strip na may same rating. It is typically used sa small-scale industries, households, and mga bagay na kailangan ng low current applications. Next ay ang cartridge fuses. Ang main difference nito sa rewirable fuses ay sa cartridge fuses ay hindi pwedeng i-rewire. Meaning once na ma-dissolve na ang wire and makapag-blow na yung fuse, kailangan na itong palitan entirely. It is cylindrical in shape and works the same as other fuses does. Under nito ay may two divisions, which is the D-type cartridge fuses and link-type fuses. For D-type cartridge fuses, it is called a D-type fuse because of its D-shaped body. It has four components: the cartridge, which contains the fuse element, the fuse cap, which holds the cartridge, adapter ring, which connects the fuse cap to the fuse base, and when the fuse is fully screwed into its base, the tip of the cartridge makes contact with a conductor, completing the circuit. It is also known for high inrush current protection. Next is for link-type cartridge fuses, kagaya ng other fuses, it is used to protect the circuit from overcurrent, but it has a replaceable fuse link inside a permanent fuse body. It is also known as HRC or high rupturing capacity or BS type fuse. In a link-type fuse, the current that can safely flow through the fuse link without blowing is specified under standard test conditions. Itong standard test conditions ay maaaring mag-vary, which can be varied into several types including temperature, voltage, and frequency. So for further types and applications of fuses, let's have Mr. Hernandez.
So next slide, please. So for the blade and bolted type fuses, these fuses are heavy-duty fuses commonly used in industrial and commercial electrical systems where large amounts of current need to be safely controlled. These fuses are designed to protect equipment and circuits from damage caused by short circuits or overloads. A blade type fuse has flat metal blades or terminals on each end, which make it easy to insert or remove from its holder, similar to how you would plug something in. This design allows for quick replacement and is often used in automotive system and low voltage electrical panels. On the other hand, a bolted type fuse is designed for higher current ratings and harsher environments. Instead of being pushed in, it is bolted securely into place to ensure a firm vibration resistant connection. This type is often found in industrial machinery and power distribution system where reliability is critical. Both blade and bolted types fuses serve the same basic purpose: to protect electrical circuit by breaking the connection when too much current flows through. The main difference lies in how they are installed and the amount of current they can handle. Next slide. So the next one is the striker type fuse. It's a special kind of fuse designed not only to protect electrical circuits from overcurrent, but also to provide a quick and visible mechanical amount when it blows. What makes it unique is the striker pin, a small spring-loaded part built into the fuse that pops out when the fuse operates. This popping action can be used to trigger a switch, indicator, or mechanical interlock, helping operators instantly know which fuse has blown and even disconnecting power automatically for extra safety. These fuses are commonly used in industrial systems and control panels where response and coordination between protective devices are important. For example, when the striker pin activates, it can trip a circuit breaker or signal an alarm, helping technician respond faster to electrical faults. So the next one is the switch type fuse. It's a practical and convenient kind of fuse that combines the function of both a switch and a fuse in one unit. This means it not only protects electrical circuits from overloads and short circuits, but allows you to manually turn the power on or off when needed. It's designed with a handle or lever which make it easy and safe to operate, especially when maintenance or replacement is required. Inside, the fuse element works just like in another type of fuses. When too much current flows through, it melts and breaks the circuit to prevent damage. What makes the switch type fuse stand out is it allows you to disconnect the circuit manually before working on it, providing an excellent layer or safety for electricians and technicians. These fuses are often found in industrial settings, electrical panels, and large machinery where frequent maintenance or control of power supply is needed. The next one is the dropout type fuse. It's a special kind of fuse commonly used in outdoor electrical distribution system, especially in power poles and transformer. It, it's called drop out because when the fuse blows, the fuse solder actually drops or swings open, giving a clear visual indication that fuse has operated. This simple but clever design easy, makes it easy for lineman and maintenance crew to spot a blown fuse from the ground, saving time and improving safety. In simple terms, a dropout fuse acts like a guardian on power lines, automatically cutting off dangerous currents and signaling when something goes wrong. It not only protects the equipment but also repairs faster and safer, which is why it is widely used by power companies to keep electricity flowing smoothly and safely to our homes and communities. Next slide, please. Let's talk about the high voltage fuses. High voltage fuses are used to protect the transformer like instrument, transformer, small power transformers, and also used in power system. The first type of high voltage fuses is the cartridge type HRC fuse, which stands for high rupturing capacity fuse, is a highly reliable protective device used in electrical system to handle large fault currents safely. It is designed to protect equipment and circuits from severe overloads or short circuits by interrupting the flow of excessive current before it can cause any serious damage. The fuse looks like a simple sealed tube, but inside is carefully engineered. It contains a fused element made of silver or copper and is filled with a special chemical powder, often a quartz sand, that helps extinguish the arc formed when the fuse blows. When an overcurrent occurs, the metal element melts and vaporizes. But instead of causing sparks or flames, the powder inside absorbs the heat and safely stop the electrical arc. This allows the fuse to break the circuit very quickly and cleanly, even under high fault conditions. Because of this, HRC fuses are widely used in industrial plants, power system, and high voltage application where dependable protection is essential. Next slide po. So for the liquid type HRC fuse is a protective device designed to handle very high fault currents safely and efficiently. Unlike ordinary fuses, This type uses a special liquid, often an insulating oil or other eye-quenching fluid, inside this body to help extinguish the intense electric arc that forms when the fuse operates. When an overcurrent or short circuit occurs, the metal fuse element inside melts due to the excessive heat. As it melts, an electric arc tries to form between the broken ends, but the surrounding liquid immediately cools and quenches the arc. This prevents further damage and ensures that the fault current is interrupted smoothly and safely. In simple terms, the liquid type HRC fuse act like a smart safety guard for electrical systems. It, it quickly senses when too much current is flowing and cuts off the circuit before any serious harm can happen to equipment or people. So the next, the other type of fuses is the expulsion type HV fuse. It's a protective device used in electrical power system to safeguard like transformers and distribution lines from overcurrent or short circuit faults. What makes this type of fuse unique is how it extinguishes or expels the electrical arc that forms when the fuse melts due to excessive current. Inside the fuse, there is a special fiber tube and fuse link. When a fault occurs, the fuse element heats up and melts, breaking the circuit. At the same time, the heat causes gases to form inside the tube, which are then expelled at high speed through small vents. These gases blow out and help quench the arc, stopping the current flow almost instantly. The expulsion HV fuse acts like a safety valve for high voltage systems. When too much electricity tries to flow through, the fuse sacrifices itself to protect the rest of the system by safely cutting off the power. These fuses are often found on overhead distribution lines and transformer in power networks because they are reliable, relatively inexpensive, and easy to replace. However, since they release hot gases and make noise when they operate, they they're typically used outdoors or in well-ventilated areas. Next slide po, please. So for the last type of fuses, the resettable fuses, are also known as polyfuse or PTC, positive temperature coefficient, is a clever type of fuse that can protect a circuit multiple times without needing to be replaced. Unlike traditional fuses that blow and must be changed after a fault, a resettable fuse automatically returns to normal once the problem is gone. It's made from a special polymer material that changes its electrical resistance when it gets too hot. When too much current flows through the fuse, it heats up and its resistance suddenly increases, blocking most of the current and protecting the circuit. After the circuit cools down and the fault is cleared, the fuse resets itself and allows electricity to flow normally again. A resettable fuse is like a self-healing safety switch. If there is a too much current, it turns off temporarily to protect your devices, and once things go back to normal, it turns on again automatically. This makes it especially used in electronics that are to service or replace, such as chargers, power supplies, USB ports, and computer motherboards. It's an environmentally friendly and cost-effective solution since it reduces waste and maintenance. Essentially, the resettable fuse is smart, reusable guardian that keeps your electronics safe without needing constant attention. Next slide, po, please. Um, for the application of different types of fuses, the different types of fuses and their uses have discussed are essential components in all electrical circuits. Some of the main application of fuses in electrical and electronics fields include the following. Number one, power transformers, electrical appliances like AC, air conditioner, air conditioners, TV, washing machines, music system, electrical cabling in home, mobile phones, motor starters, laptops, power chargers, cameras, scanners, printers and photocopies, automobile and electronic devices and games. So next slide po, please.
So next, let's talk about power relays. As you can see here, we have how relays work in the two main types, the electromechanical and solid-state relays. Basically, a relay is an electrical switch, but what makes it special is that it can open or close a circuit either electromechanically or electronically. So, in simpler terms, relays control one circuit by using a small electrical signal to switch another circuit on or off. This means you can use a small amount of power to control a much larger one. For example, a tiny signal from a control system can turn on a big motor or machine. That's the magic of relays. Now, when we talk about relays, we often hear the terms normally open or normally closed. Normally open means the circuit is open when the relay isn't active, so no current flows until it's turned on. Meanwhile, normally closed means it's closed by default, current flows until the relay switches it off. Then, relays are mostly used to switch smaller currents in a controlled circuit, not big power consuming ones. So you'll see them used for things like solenoids, small motors, or as safety devices in equipment. Speaking of safety, there are what we call protective relays. These are like the guardians of electrical systems. They detect problems such as overloads, short circuits, or abnormal voltages and automatically shut things off before damage happens. Now let's move on to the two main types of relays, electromechanical and solid state. For, for electromechanical relays, they work with physical movement. Inside, there's a magnetic coil that pulls contacts together or apart. That's how the circuit opens or closes. Because of this mechanical motion, they can handle heavy duty tasks like those in electrical machines. They also give a clear on and off state, and the best part is you can replace them if they wear out. On the other hand, solid state relays don't have any moving parts. Everything happens electronically using semiconductor components like transistors. So, since there are no parts to physically move, SSRs are faster to turn off and on, perfect for applications that need quick switching. However, once an SSR wears out, you cannot just replace the parts, the whole relay must be replaced. Next slide po. Next, let's talk about electromechanical relays. So basically, when we say electromechanical relay, we're talking about the type of relay that works through a mechanical movement caused by electric current. In short, may mga gumagalaw na parts ito sa loob, unlike solid-state relays na purely electronic. Now let's look at its basic parts and functions. We have four main components: the frame, coil, armature, and contacts. Let's go through them one by one. First, the frame. Ito yung body or main structure ng relay. Siya yung nag-hold ng lahat ng components sa loob, parang pinaka-skeleton or foundation ng relay. Next is the coil. It's the heart of relay kasi dito dumadaloy ang current. When current passes through the coil, it produces a magnetic field, and that magnetic field is what makes the relay switch on or off. Kaya tinatawag din itong energizing side ng relay. Then we have the armature. Ito yung movable part na naa-attract ng magnetic field from the coil. Kapag na-energize ang coil, hinihila ng magnet yung armature. At dahil doon, nag-open or nag-close yung circuit. And lastly, the contacts. These are the metal parts that actually make or break the electrical connection. Parang sila yung nagsasabi kung on or off yung circuit. Kaya kapag nag-move ang armature, the contacts either connect or disconnect the flow of electricity. So we have to remember that a relay actually has two circuits. First is the energizing circuit kung saan dumadaloy ang kuryente sa coil. And the second one is the contact circuit kung saan nag-open or close ang connection depende kung naka-energize ang coil o hindi. So basically, one small electrical current in the energizing circuit can control a bigger current sa contact circuit. Kaya napaka-useful ng relay sa automation at control systems. Next, let's talk about configurations of relay contacts. These depend on something we call breaks, pulls, and throws. Break, this refers to the number of separate contact points or breaks that a switch can open or close. Parang ilang beses kayang i-open or i-close ang isang electrical path. Pole, this is the number of completely isolated circuits that the relay can control. So kapag sinabing single pole, one circuit lang ang nakokontrol niya. Kapag double pole, dalawang circuit. Throw, this is the number of contact positions per pole. In simpler terms, ilang possible paths or outputs ang pwedeng pagdaluyan ng current. So for example, kapag sinabing SPDT, that means single pole, double throw, one circuit pero may dalawang possible output paths. Next slide po. Now let's move on to the different types of electromechanical relays. There are actually several types, but for now we'll focus on the three most common ones: general purpose relays, machine control relays, and reed relays. Let's start with the general purpose relays. These are the most commonly used type. There are electromechanical switches that operate using a magnetic coil, meaning once current flows through the coil, a magnetic field is created, which then opens or closes the circuit. They can work with AC and DC currents, and they usually handle voltages like 12 volts, 24 volts, 48 volts, 120 volts, and even 230 volts. The, the current they control ranges from 2 up to 30 amps, so medyo flexible siya, pwedeng gamitin sa light or medium applications. Ang maganda sa general purpose relays is that they are affordable, easy to replace, and very versatile. Kaya makikita mo siya sa maraming devices like appliances, vehicles, and control systems. Next, we have the machine control relays. These are a bit more duty compared to general purpose relays. They are also operated by a magnetic coil, but they're designed specifically for industrial use tulad ng pagkontrol ng motors, starters, or other large machines sa factories. What makes machine control really special is that it can expanded or customized. You can add accessories like extra poles, convertible contacts, or even attachments for timing. So in short, machine control relays are stronger, more durable, and flexible, perfect for applications that require higher reliability and control. And lastly, let's talk about reed relays. These are small but fast, very quick to operate compared to the other two. They have only one contact, which is normally open or an NO. The special thing about reed relays is that they are hermetically sealed inside a glass tube, meaning nakaseal siya and protected from dust, moisture, or any contaminants. Because of that, reed relays are very reliable and they have a longer lifespan. Ginagamit din sila in applications that need clean switching like communication equipment, measuring instruments, and even some control systems. So in short, kapag pare-pareho silang electromechanical relays, they serve different roles depending on how strong, fast, or durable the system needs to be. Next slide po. Now, just like the usual electromechanical relays that we already know, solid state relays are also used to switch circuits on and off. But here's the big difference. Like what I've said earlier, they don't have any moving parts. Instead, they use electronic components like transistors to do the switching. Because of that, they're faster, silent, and more durable since there's no physical contact that wears out over time. Solid state relays are made up of three main parts: the input circuit, the control circuit, and the output circuit. Una, the input circuit. Ito yung part na parang coil sa normal relay. Kapag in-applyan mo ng voltage na mas mataas, tinatawag na pickup voltage, mag-activate na siya. So basically, ito yung nagsasabi sa relay na mag-on na. Next is the control circuit. Ito naman yung brain ng relay. Siya yung nagde-decide kung kailan mag-off or mag-on based sa signal na nakukuha niya from the input. And lastly is the output circuit. Ito na yung actual part na nag-on or off ng load. Kumbaga siya yung gumagawa ng trabaho. Same function as the mechanical contacts as sa old style relay pero electronic na. Now there are different types of solid state relays and here are the four main ones. First is the zero switching relays. Ito yung type na nagto-turn off ng load kapag tinanggal na yung control voltage at yung current sa load ay malapit na sa zero. The advantage of this is smoother switching and less electrical noise. Second is instant on relays. Very straightforward. Kapag present na yung pickup voltage, agad-agad siyang nagto-turn on. Walang delay, so perfect sa mga applications na kailangan ng mabilisang response. Third is peak switching relays. Ito naman yung nagto-turn on kapag yung load voltage ay nasa peak. Then, nagto-turn off siya kapag nawala na yung voltage at yung current sa load ay near zero. So this type helps in smoother and efficient switching. And lastly is analog switching relays. Ito na yung pinaka-flexible. Hindi lang siya basta nag-on or off, kaya niya ring i-handle lahat ng range ng output voltages. Parang dimmer switch na pwede mong i-adjust. Next slide po. Relays contact life. Basically, ang life po ng relay ay nakadepende sa kung gaano tatagal ang contacts niya. Yung contacts kasi sila yung nagbubukas or nagsasara ng circuit. So over time, dahil sa paulit-ulit na paggamit at sa arcing ng kuryente, napupundi o nasusunog din sila. Kapag nasunog na or worn out na yung contacts, hindi na maayos gumagana yung relay. Kaya kailangan ng palitan either yung contacts or minsan pati yung buong relay. Now there are actually two types of relay life that we need to understand: the mechanical life and electrical life. Let's start with the mechanical life. This refers on how many times a relay's contacts can open and close without any electrical current flowing through them. It's like testing how many times the mechanism can move purely by motion, no electricity involved. Most relays can handle up 1 million mechanical operation before wearing out. Next, we have the electrical life. This one is more practical. It measures how many times the relay can operate under actual electrical load, meaning when current is flowing through it. Because electricity causes heat and sparks every time contacts open and close, the electrical life is shorter than the mechanical life. Typically, a relay's electrical life ranges from 100,000 to 500,000 cycles depending on the current and voltage it's handling. So in short, mechanical life is how long it lasts without current, and electrical life is how long it lasts with current. And overall, the relay's contact life determines how it will need replacement. That's why, in real applications, we always consider both its mechanical and electrical life ratings to make sure the relay will be reliable over time. Next slide po.
So the last part of our discussion is all about the basic circuit of solid-state relay. Uh, Solid-state relays work like ordinary ones, but in this type of relays, walang gumagalaw na mechanical parts kaya mas mabilis silang mag-switch and mas lessen ang noise. Dahil electronic ang switching, mas stable sila and often last much longer than electromechanical relays. However, they generate heat because the internal components drop voltage even when turned on, kaya laging may heat sink or cooling. For example, in automation systems, SSRs are often used for heaters or motor controllers para smooth and quiet ang switching. So in short, the basic circuit of the SSR tells us that it is faster and quieter in operation, and it requires proper heat dissipation because of internal voltage drops. Next slide po. So the next one is the sensors and actuators. So sensors gather information, which is may tuturing natin silang sense organs ng mga machines because they can detect light, pressure, temperature, or even motion. On the other hand, actuators naman are the muscles that move something based on the electrical signals like motors, solenoids, or speakers. A binary actuator acts like a switch, which is siya yung nag-go-on and nag-go-off, while a continuous actuator provides smooth motion. For example, sa automatic door or sa automatic na pintuan, the motion sensors detects a person, which can be called as the sensor. And the motor opens the door, which can be called as the actuator. In simple words or in simple terms, si sensor ang taga-masid or taga-sense, while si actuator ang kumikilos or tagagawa ng actual work. So the main two types of the actuators are the binary actuators or yung taga-on and off, and ang continuous motion or yung nagpo-provide ng smooth motion, which is the most common example one is the motors. Next slide po. Now let's proceed with the electrical relay contact tip, which is all about the materials and its properties. So as shown in the table presented in the slide, different contact materials are chosen para tumagal ang relay depending on the load. For example, silver or AG gives excellent conductivity pero madaling mag-tarnish, or meaning to say, madaling umitim or mag-darken kapag exposed sa air. However, harder materials like silver or tungsten are used for high current circuits because mas mataas ang kanilang melting point and arc resistance. Meanwhile, gold or platinum alloys are used for tiny electronic signals to prevent corrosion. So for example, sa control panels, AGCDO or AGNI contacts are common para hindi madaling ma-weld or masunog sa arcing. Next slide po. So the next slide is all about the relay contact types. So relays are classified by how their contacts switch circuits. And the four main types of or contact types of relay are the SPST, SPDT, DPST, and DPDT. So sa SPST or single pole, single throw, meron tayong one input and one output. While sa SPDT or single pole, double throw, meron tayong one input and two outputs. Next is the DPST or double pole, single throw, meron tayong two inputs and one output each. And lastly, sa DPDT, meron tayong double pole, double throw, meaning to say two inputs and two outputs. So, contact types describe how many circuits a relay can control and how the current flows. Among the four contact types, SPST is the simplest because it is the typical light switch na mayroong on and off switch. However, SPDT allows choosing between two circuits or matatawag ding selector switch. And lastly, DPST and DPDT ay kadalasang ginagamit for multi-circuit devices because they let a single relay control two separate lines at the same time. So in real-life applications and usage, refrigerator thermostats often use SPDT, while in industrial relays, they commonly use DPDT for simultaneous switching. So contacts can also be normally open or NO, where it closes when energized, and normally closed or NC, where it opens when energized. So next slide po. So next is all about input or output or I/O interface modules. I/O interface modules connect computers or microcontrollers to real-world devices. They provide electrical isolation and protection between circuits. So, in short, input-output modules act like translators between computers or microcontrollers and real-world devices. They protect sensitive electronics by giving electrical isolation para hindi masunog ang microcontroller kapag high voltage na ang sensors. So some modules convert AC or DC signals into digital outputs and vice versa. They also come in multi-channel form para kayang mabasa or mag-switch ng maraming inputs at outputs at once. So example, sa PLC systems, I/O modules let the controller read push buttons, limit switches, and activate motors safely. So ang most common types ng interface modules ay ang ang pagta-translate or ang pagko-convert ng AC/DC input into TTL or CMOS output or vice versa. Meaning TTL or CMOS input na i-convert or ita-transverse into AC/DC output. So they are available as single or multi-channel 4, 8, 16 modules, and they are commonly used in industrial and automation systems. Next slide po. So the last part is all about the disadvantages of SSR or solid state relays. First is that they are more expensive than electromechanical relays. Next is they are usually SPST type only. Next is they have off-state leakage current and cause on-state voltage drops generating heat. And lastly, they can handle tiny loads or high-frequency signals like audio or video. Although durable and fast, SSRs are more expensive and usually limited to simple SPST switching only. Kahit naka-off sila, may leakage current pa rin kaya delikado for tiny or sensitive loads. However, when they are on, they drop some voltage and generate heat, kaya kailangan pa rin ng heat sinking lalo na sa high current loads. Also, they cannot handle radio frequency or audio signals dahil hindi sila designed for high frequency switching. So in real life, for example, sa mga small LED loads or audio applications, mas reliable and effective pa rin minsan ang electromechanical relays. But again, meron pa rin namang advantages or pros ang paggamit ng SSR, and it all depends sa situation. Next po.
And that concludes our presentation. Again, we are Group 5 from EE3103 and thank you for listening.